Hey guys, Jimmy here and welcome to rFactor 2 DX11. Now the other day I got an email through from the guys at RF2 basically saying, Jimmy, how would you like to try DX11 a day early? And of course, snapped up the opportunity and here we are. So the open beta is actually available for you guys to go drive as of tomorrow, May the 1st. So we have it a day early. One of the downsides of that though is there's only one car and one track available for me to test, which is this car in front of you now, the Corvette C6R, one of the earlier cars released by ISI. Back in the day, and we'll be driving at Silverstone, which is actually quite a good comparison because we recently did a video around here with the Formula Renault. That was in DX9, this is in DX11, be good to compare the two. So what I'm going to be doing to try and show off as much as possible to you guys is I'm going to be doing a 6-lap race against AI, and I'm going to be starting at 4 AM, so I'm going to be starting in darkness, and I've got timescale on times 60, so hopefully by the end of the race, it's a 6-lap race, we'll end up going from night to day to night, and hopefully give you a really nice idea of how all the effects come in now in this DX11 engine. So on the grid then in our GT2 Corvette, in RF2 DX11, you can see the stars moving in the sky, the time acceleration is so fast. And there's green, flag drop there by the fella up on the gantry. And away we go then for 6 laps. And you can already see the sun rising there behind the stands, hopefully we'll be able to get to the old pit straight. Before that comes up, if you get a better look at that, we're going to just go around the outside here, try and make a couple of spots off the line. Not too wide there. The AI gives me a little bit of a biff as we go onto the grass. I'm going to be nice and easy, try not to come too wide off the curb there, given that has a very tight line. Nice and easy through here first time around. Don't want to be too far behind the pack. A little bit of argy-bargy there, Martin. You're right there, Murray. There you go then, down the Wellington Straight for the first time, and the sky brightens up as the sun comes up. But bear in mind this is times 60, so some of the effects might seem a little bit jagged. We're coming through Brooklands for the first time, and then into Luffield. Going to try and go around the outside here. The other Corvette, I'm not going to quite be able to make that stick. Come on. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Actually, I might be able to do it. No, too fast. But you can see, this is where DX11 really comes into its own. That glare from the sun there from behind the stands looks very convincing. The shadows there on the pit wall to the right as well. Looks pretty good if you ask me, so I was concentrating trying to get through cups there. This is not a car that I've driven very much before in the past, so driving it now today is a little bit difficult, a little bit challenging, but you know, we're doing okay. I say that, I nearly die going through maggots, the Becketts. And I think RF2 has always been a game that has looked very good when we're transitioning from day to night or night to day. That's sort of where it comes into its own. Admittedly, RF2 in the past has never been a game which is, known for its graphics. It's probably the first thing that anyone ever says when I talk about RF2, which I think is wrong, of course. I've sort of publicly said that I think that it's wrong to judge a sim based on its graphics and not on its physics, but of course that's an argument for another day. Shadows are getting long, so we can turn off our headlights now because plenty of sun, plenty of light for us on the circuit, and that's 1 lap down. With 5 to go, the wing there on the right covered by shadow as the sun is behind it right now. Just see it just popping up there behind. Very convincing glare from that sun, especially on the paintwork as well, on the bodywork. The lighting in RF2, sometimes the RF2 lighting gets it right. It's been very rare over the course of its development so far, but this is again a massive step in the right direction. I will say something now that in my email from Studio 397, there was no, I'm not restrained in what I'm saying. I'm not being told I can only do this video if I only give good feedback, etc. This is completely my opinion, and I will say right now that whilst on board and whilst during sort of midday when the sun's at its highest, the game doesn't look too different from my opinion looking on board anywhere. Of course we do have improved reflections, etc. and improved shaders as well, but for the most part it's not a sort of night and day difference, if you excuse the pun of this race, I suppose. We are going to get through and hopefully experience a sunset as well and give us a sort of the opposite idea of what that's like. The lighting here in the cockpit though is quite convincing. The shadows sort of coming in, being cast by the cockpit itself. Try and get through cops in one piece, nearly made it through. And I think personally that a lot of the sort of development on this game, a lot of the effort in DX11 has gone to trackside and making things look better trackside. What I'll do after I finish this race is I'll shut up for a bit. I'll go off camera. You don't want to see my ugly mug all the time. and we'll show you, you know, 2 laps or so of what this looks like from a trackside camera. Because that's what I think the game looks best. God, this wheel is old. I can't wait to get the OSW set up. I keep saying that. Still waiting for bits to come through. Still waiting. I love waiting so much. It's the best thing ever. You go nice and easy through there. And originally, I was going to be doing this video with the GT500, but unfortunately, I was having some issues with that car, so this was the only alternative. So, as of now, I don't think everything's actually ready for DX11. It sounds like still a couple of bits being worked on. I guess that's part of the the open beta coming up. So when if there are any issues that people have, they can sort of report them and get them fixed straight away. Hope so, anyway. Because let's be honest, RF2 have not had a history of communicating very well with the community, and it's got a lot better since 397 has sort of come into power. That sounds pretty intense, but you know, it's still something I think that needs working on a little bit, and I think it's something that will be worked on. Hopefully, oh god, don't run into the back of the guy in front in the straight line. The glare of the brakes, I can't speak today. The glare of the brake lights look pretty convincing. You see there on the left there, they actually seem like luminous objects, as opposed to before where it was just like a bright colour that will flash up. It actually now seems like a proper lighting there on those brake lights. The mirror as well, you can see another driver just starting to catch up to the rear. I'm not actually too bothered. It's quite weird being in a situation where I'm driving this race, not really focusing too much on the race itself, just on what's around me. But I'll say, if I haven't said it already, that I think that judging graphics is a purely subjective view. I'm giving you my own subjective view, and I very much encourage you to make your own opinion. Again, the facts of this video is that I have every setting bar shadows, which is on high instead of max. I have every setting maxed out right now, and the game itself runs a lot better. That's something that's something objective I can tell you from my experience. Frame rate around here is nice and smooth. I'm having no stutters. Something I experienced before actually in DX11 was micro stutters when playing the game, which was very off-putting. I had it quite a lot of Sebring when driving at VEC there. I've had it a little bit sort of recording videos for YouTube, but so far I've not really noticed anything. Everything's been nice and smooth so far. Hope it stays that way, of course. Again, RF2 is sort of infamous for being troubling on the machine. Looks like actually I do have auto blip on the downshift there. It's taken me a couple of laps to discover that. Nice and easy. So this is the car itself. I'll probably just quickly go over what the car is. It's the Corvette C6R. It's actually a GT2 car, so it's a very old car. One of the first cars that ISI ever actually put out for RF2. But it's sort of weird being back in it because I've not driven it for so long. That's why I was more keen to drive the GT500, because I've driven that recently, and I don't think there are any sort of physics updates with DX11. I don't think there is anyway. But nice and easy. There you go. The car feels nice. It feels, you know, as I expect it to. It's become a little bit floaty now that the tyres are warmed up a little bit, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose, in this case. Again, now we're getting into sort of midday lighting now. The sun high in the sky and shadows actually are starting to lengthen a little bit. We are on time 60, so every minute in this race is an hour in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get round to evening again, which I think would be pretty interesting. I'm actually hoping we do, because I really want to see both ends of the spectrum, of course, show you guys that as well. That's the important thing. Go through cops again, nice and easy. Car's sort of lethargic through there. We get a nice run off cop, should hopefully get in front of this fella before coming down to maggots. Yep, there you go, he backs out of it, and I don't. Jeez, remember to brake, Jimmy. Nearly died there myself, up to P6. Nice, I've really not been paying attention, so this is sort of happening in the background right now. Usually when I do these sort of videos, I'm focusing on the race and the driving, etc. And right now I'm trying to focus on everything else. It's actually quite a difficult experience for me. I'm struggling a little bit. So again, getting up to the back of the guy in front, you can sort of see the reflections as well, looking a little bit nicer. That might just be me. I'm literally just saying what I see right now. That's catchphrase, say what you see. On the veil. Still waiting for the sun to move around the sky a bit more to give us a little bit more. I think a Silverstone, I think in any sort of any sim, it's so open. But I feel like a lot of the colour gets washed out with the sky, because That sounds like a very silly thing to say, but it being so open, like right now, like a good 90% of what I'm seeing on is just sky, and so you end up getting just this weird sort of blue tinge in your mind when you're thinking about it. But I'm not getting that so far. Some of you guys may remember the good old days, quote unquote, of HDR, ugh, shudders, in RF2, where all the colours would end up being just over the top, just over saturated. Now I think it's, you know, I was sort of worried you might get that of DX11, but if anything, it seems to have been dialed back a little bit. You know, the blues and the greens, whilst being very blue and very green, they aren't quite as horrible and punchy as those early HDR days, which is, again, a good sign. Trying to latch onto the back of this train in front of me. We're about to get past the cop scam. I seem to be pretty fast through there right now. Usually I do quite extensive testing before doing a race, but today I haven't really done any of that, so I've been quite lucky to jump in with a sort of random AI setting and have them be sort of semi-competitive. I'm still blipping on the way down where I really don't need to be. Guys in front side by side, I'm going to just take advantage of the guy being run wide there. Thank you very much. Up to P5. The sky getting a little bit paler now as the sort of day wears on. We have one more lap, then come across the line. I don't think we're actually going to get to the evening, which is a bit sad, but we've still got 2 hours or so yet in game. Our lap time I think is around 2 minutes or so, so we've got 2.5 hours yet for the shadows to lengthen up to P4. Thank you very much. That's still like we're getting into sort of late afternoon now, which is quite nice because that's something I think is quite natural when you sort of look outside yourself, you know, outside your actual window in real life, and go, okay, you sort of judge what time it is based on where the sun, you know, what the lighting's like, etc. I'm sort of getting that same feeling from this a little bit now. Nice and easy through there. Good. Go wide onto the last lap now, and something again I will say is that if you haven't, you know, if you're still a little bit unsold and not sold on this so far on the DX11, of course this is a free update, just to get that out there right now. It's not something you're going to have to pay for. Then stick around for the trackside cameras. I think a lot of the work went into the trackside cameras, it feels like, and it really does show. It makes it look a lot nicer, lots of nice depth of field effects. Some of them may be a little bit over the top, I think, maybe in my opinion, but again, I'll leave you guys to decide that one for yourself. So, late afternoon now, see a shadow there and the Corvette in front starting to get a little bit longer as we go down the Wellington Straight for the last time into Brooklands. Shall we go for a podium? I think we'll go for a podium. See if we can... No, okay, not quite. A bit slower than I thought it would be through Luffield. Going to try and maybe sneak up the inside. Sneak. Thank you very much. Jam the throttle. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, podium. If only I could do that in real racing. Just be like, yeah, okay, podium. Let's get a podium and just take third somehow. That'd be good. So, cops. It's the first time on my own through here, actually. No one to go off. Ah! Don't die on the curbs, Jimmy. Now it's looking pretty. You know, I must say I did have my sort of... Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't die. Jimmy's dead. Okay. Well, what I was going to say before I did many spins is that it's now starting to look a bit more convincing. You know, I'm going to just get out of the car here because I'm not too bothered about finishing the race, more just showing off. But it does look more convincing now. So what I'm going to do now to sort of just take away from my disgrace of me spinning in the Corvette here is we're going to go to some trackside cameras from the start of the race and give you an idea of what it looks like from a TV view, because I think it's, you know, there's, like I said, there's a lot of work going into it. Well, you guys can see for yourselves. You guys see what I mean? It just looks a lot better from the trackside cameras than I think it does from the cockpit. I'm going to take a stab and say there are a lot more post-processing effects on these cameras than there are sort of on board. Maybe, again, that's sort of aimed towards broadcast. I'm not really sure. I'm just taking a guess there. But there you go, guys. That was a little preview of RF2 DX11, the Corvette C6R at Silverstone. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit subscribe to be notified of future videos. And I'm very curious to hear what you guys think of this in the comments below, of course. The whole point of my channel, in my mind, is to try and create discussions about sim racing. So if you have a question for me or about DX11, or maybe just have any comments to make, then feel free to do that below. Cheers for watching, guys. Have an awesome day. Catch you next time.